Welcome everyone, one and all, to my reaction to Season 3, Episode 6 of Young Royals, the finale. Now, my god, it hurts to be saying that. It has been such a long time since we've actually had a show that we've been following for multiple years that's ending, that we've been doing on the channel. And I don't know, it's always one of those bittersweet things, isn't it? Because it's I'm so glad that they were able to have the finish that they wanted. I'm so glad that it wasn't a thing where they got cut off early and the show didn't get renewed, but still it's oh, it sucks. I could never prepare myself for it. I can never prepare myself to say goodbye. But with that said though, very excited to get into it. Obviously last episode we ended on a terrible note, which was Simon going to Willa and basically explaining that he just doesn't think that he can do it anymore. And after sitting with it for a while, I definitely agree that there is no good time to do it. I was sort of caught up on the fact of you should have waited, but my opinion has changed. I think it's one of those things where there's never gonna be a good time. So why fake your feelings? Why string yourself along when you know that something is wrong in this relationship and right now it can't work? So I do respect Simon for actually saying that's Willa and getting out of the way, because my god, that is such a hard thing to explain to someone that you do deeply love. To try to explain to them that look, I love you, those feelings are there, but something isn't working. Something isn't working and we are not happy. This isn't what love should be. Now, given that we didn't really get an actual reaction out of that, as that was the literal end of the episode, I'm very curious to see if we're going to pick up right from where we left off, or if it's going to be a kind of thing of the next day and we'll see the aftermath of what that decision has done to both of them, you know? But in terms of where we're going with this episode, no idea. I feel like we've got two very clear routes that we can go down. It's either that Willa is going to accept the crown and he is going to end up being king, and then, in my opinion, I don't think that he will ever be with Simon. I don't think that it can work in that environment. Or he gives up the crown and he decides to be with Simon and just live a normal life, because I feel like both options would be understandable from his point of view. Obviously, sitting here, I hope that he gives up the crown, not only for the idea of being with Simon, because I know it's a romantic gesture and it's something that has been included in stories throughout time, but in my opinion, the idea of giving up something that important for a love that you don't know will work out or not, you don't know how you two will work as you grow older and all that, you're still quite young. I would think don't make such a rash decision that early, but I mean it more so from his perspective. I think Willa should give up the crown for himself. We have seen not only what the position of being the crown prince has done to him, but we have seen what the position of the monarch has done to his mother. And it does not look like something that I would wish on anyone. So I would, with the love that I've grown for Willa over the years, I would hope that he gives it up just so that he can be happy. But I guess we'll see how it goes, because this is a family institution. He may feel like he has a responsibility, especially with his brother passing and everything, to take over the crown. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what Willa's reaction is and what decision he comes to. But I really hope and pray that he leaves it and they can be together. But I guess we will see. So yes, with that said, let's jump back in for the last time to Young Royals. Oh, he's talking to Felice. That's so nice. Well done, mate.
Men är det verkligen helt sluta? Det känns som att ni aldrig någonsin är helt över.
True.
Vet inte, du skulle sett hans ansikte.
Oh my boy.
Han menar det verkligen.
I'm so sorry. He did mean it, but...
Jag förstår honom. Jag måste ta ansvar för mina problem. Jag kan inte förstöra honom på köpet.
Wow. I wasn't expecting him to come to that conclusion so quickly. I love that. Because at the end of the day, sorry, right, I'll say this right now, guys. I'm going to be pausing a lot. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Move on. I will be pausing quite a lot. It's one of those things, isn't it, where you just think to yourself, you don't want to just blame yourself for everything when a relationship ends. You don't want to just blame yourself for every wrong thing that happened. But taking responsibility for your side of things and having that realization that these were the things that you could have done better, those are so important to help you grow, you know? And I don't think that that is a self-deprecating thing that Willa is going through. I don't think it's one of those things of oh, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have dragged him down with me. I don't think that's it at all. I think it's the idea of he recognizes that the position that he's in is one that is causing stress and that his problems are so great that he's struggling to solve them. But at the end of the day, they are his problems to solve. And so it is that idea of dragging him down with him. But even if that's the case, don't let yourself be dragged down too. Don't picture it as though you can't get out of it. You are in a situation where you are just going to be dragged down and there's nothing you can do to stop it, because that will lead him to be in like such a depressive state of mind, you know. If he truly can't handle the position and everything, then please, for the love of God, for yourself, give it up. Just give up the crown. Let it go to August. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, it sucks that August would like get so much privilege and so much power and everything after everything he did to Willa. But at the end of the day, this is about being happy. This is about leading a good life. And if Willa can't do that being the king, then he can't do it. But yeah, looping back to what he was saying though, I think that he has taken this like the best way. It's the idea of Felice actually bringing up, did he say that he didn't love you? And he said, no, not that. So he recognizes that he said that he didn't say that he didn't love you. That love is still there. That love is still deep. But right now it can't work due to the problems that Willa does need to sort out. He does need to figure out what he's going to do with it. Ooh. Oh, I love this. What song is this? This has like, you know, like summer vibes, just like putting your earphones on by the beach. Aww. I hope he told his mom so that he has someone to talk to. Or Sada?
Jag tror jag ska skolka idag.
Absolutely understandable, my boy.
Jag orkar verkligen inte träffa honom.
Yeah. God. I never had like a school romance, so I forget the idea of like, you would have to see them every day after you broke up. That fucking sucks.
Är pappa här?
Does he come to talk to Sada? Has he given her the car?
Förlåt. Jag älskar er. Jag vill att du tar bilen. Upptäck världen. Pappa.
Oh wow.
Jag antar att du alltid haft rätt. Vi borde aldrig haft kontakt med honom.
That's not my takeaway.
Om du var besviken.
No, that's not my takeaway.
Jag tror det är du som har haft rätt hela tiden. Du vågar ju ge människor en andra chans. Det är ju modigt.
Oh, it is brave.
Det kommer alltid vara så här.
Kanske. Men det betyder inte att jag inte vill ha honom i mitt liv.
Oh wow, I'm glad to hear that.
Vissa människor kanske aldrig blir helt bra.
Yeah.
Men det betyder inte att man inte behöver dem.
Just like with us too. But oh god, sorry, before we continue that was such a nice moment. That is such a wow. That was a really special scene. I loved that. I think that not only from a point of view of Sada and her father's relationship that we've seen grow throughout the season, but also from a sibling point of view, the fact that she recognizes that within herself, she has had moments where she's fucked up, but she has been given second chances. She's been given a second chance by her brother, for example, and they've obviously got to a better place already, and it's not even been that much time. And so I think she finally recognizes that we all grow as human beings. We all get to different points in our lives and you look back and you don't even recognize the person you were before, you know? Like I look back to myself when I was 18. Who the fuck was that? Like I don't even recognize a single part of myself in that person anymore. And so the idea of never giving someone a second chance, the idea of fully closing yourself off to that possibility, it is sad in a sense, you know, because you never know what good could come from that. If Sada had completely closed herself off from her relationship with her father and she hadn't explored it this season, there would have been so many growth moments that she wouldn't have got. There would have been so many moments where she's worked through stuff herself using the guidance of her father and has got to such a better place mentally and physically. I mean, she's back at school. She's built her relationship with her brother up as well. Like, she is doing fantastic considering where she was a few episodes ago. And that is because of the relationship with her father. So I think that she's just finally recognizing that closing people off, putting the walls up, getting defensive, and not allowing that person back in your life can in and of itself be damaging to you, can in and of itself be an injustice to yourself. Now, with that said though, I am of the personal opinion that not every single person deserves a second chance. I think that depending on the severity of what someone has done to you, you are 1000% in your rights to never give that person a second chance, and you can move on from them and be a better person, live a happier life. But I think it's very important to note that there are moments where second chances should be given. There are moments where second chances could be a turning point in your life. And I fucking love this scene for pointing that out. I myself struggle with it. I myself struggle with the idea of giving people a second chance because you think, oh, but they've hurt me before. Why on earth would I let them in again? That's just stupid. That's just me asking to be hurt again. But at the end of the day, putting yourself out there, being brave, having the courage to do it, and the potential of that person actually changing and being a positive influence in your life, it could be so worth it. So I think closing yourself off completely definitely isn't what you should ever do. But like I said, I do think that you are within your rights to not seek a relationship with someone if they have hurt you. I would never judge someone for not giving someone a second chance, you know. But to loop back to the father, we know that he has addiction problems. We know that he has had these moments where it's not easy to control the urges that he has. And I think that if they do want a relationship with him going forward, it's something that they are going to have to accept. And don't get me wrong, accepting and dealing with it, it's not going to be easy. It's not something we'll just like, I'll just accept it and then it'll be fine. Like, no. There will probably be other moments in the future where he does disappoint you and he does let you down, but he is trying. We've seen this season with how he's been with Sada and everything. He is trying to be there for them. He is trying to be a good father for them, and recognizing that is what I think is important out of all of this. It's not so easy to just expect someone who has addiction problems and expect someone who has these issues to just so easily be like, okay, no, I'm going to cut it all off and I'm going to be good. Like, that's not how it works. So it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, if they chose not to have a relationship with their father, I would understand. And I'd be like, okay, that's within your, like, you're 1000% in your rights to do that. And I respect that. But in my opinion, from an outside perspective, I think that that relationship with their father could be so fucking healing, even if there are moments in the future that he lets them down, so long as they recognize that it's not through his, like, wanting to let them down, his not caring for them, it's just sometimes he will fail. But even then, that's not to take everything away from him. There are definitely things that he can do to make himself better and to make himself do better. I just think it's one of those equal relationships, isn't it? It's like, so long as they put in the effort to trying to understand him and trying to build a better relationship with him, he needs to put effort into also making sure that he can do what he can with his behavior and try and stop himself from doing these actions, even when there will be slip-ups in the future. But yeah, sorry, I know I rambled a lot with that, but I think that her relationship with her father has been something that I've thought has been, like, beautiful to watch throughout the season. So this moment, I think, was a very beautiful showing of growth, you know? And then also giving her the car, absolutely fantastic. Allows them both to just have such freedom, you know?
Det var saker.
Pappa gav mig bilen.
Det?
She's like, what?
Säkert att du inte ska till skolan. Jag kan skjutsa dig.
She can drive.
Bitte, det var halvering. Och det kommer du också göra.
Yeah.
Mm.
Honestly, I'm gonna miss their mum so much. I just keep thinking about all these characters that we're not gonna see again.
Och dess väsen är tid. Men än faller tidlösa stäng... Ja?
Får jag prata med dig?
Ja, absolut.
Interesting. What's going on here?
Sara, vet du vad Simon är?
Han är hemma. Han skolkar.
I hate this.
Jag måste tyvärr avbryta lektionen. Och faktiskt hela dagen är inställd. Det är så att Skolinspektionen har tagit ett beslut.
Oh no.
De har gett Hillerska verksamhetsförbud. Jag är lika chockad som ni.
What the fuck? I did not expect this. Oh my god.
Man inte agerat kraftfullt nog för att stoppa de
Systematic abuse. Jesus, okay.
De har tagit bort allt som är kul.
Snyggt jobbat!
What? Hold on, I need to hear that out. What do you mean it hasn't been forceful enough they've taken away all the fun? For, like, what was it? A few weeks? They took away your phones and they just, what, gave you a little slap on the wrist? You hardly got any repercussions for anything that was done. Like, you guys have to understand the severity of what was going on here. People were fucking bullied and abused for decades here. Imagine being a gay person in that situation with the porno video, you know? And that's just one example of many of the issues going on here. You need to understand the severity of what these problems were.
Du höll ett jävla tal och nu ska hela skolan stänga. Det måste vara något jävla rekord alltså.
Ge dig, det handlar inte bara om mig. Det sitter ju i väggarna.
Oh my god, shut up!
Men varför kollar du på mig?
För du har suttit i en intervju
vi har ju länge pratat om det här.
Alltså säg bara ord för ord, vad var det du sa?
Tysta! Tysta!
Yikes.
Sluta skyll på varandra!
Yes!
Ja, alltså vi är ledsna allihop. Det...
Classic humans though. Everyone's upset so they resort to anger.
Ta farväl av era skolkamrater.
Jesus Christ.
Jag är hemskt ledsen.
Yeah. It is awful, but turning on each other, Don't do that. It's that thing. It's like, I get why everyone's angry and I get why everyone's emotional, of course, but the way that they were just shouting at Willa and Felice and all that, it's just like, back the fuck off. If the school shut down because there were problems and that they were just honest, that's the problem with the school. That's a problem with all of your actions. Don't blame the people who just told the fucking truth, love. Honestly, Stella and Frederica really pissed me off this season. Just the way that they've treated Felice. It's that thing, isn't it? It's like, it's childish, but they are children. They are young. They're not young. I wouldn't say they're children, but you know what I mean? They're like young adults, you know? And it's just, it's frustrating. I don't think that they've been good friends to her at all. I think the way that they've treated her in some scenarios has just been, they're just very selfish and self-absorbed. That's where I'll leave it.
Vad ska vi göra nu?
Mamma kanske har rätt i att vi borde flytta.
Yeah. Sucks that you've lost out on that opportunity though.
Det är världens sämsta stad.
Vi kan inte dra från Bjärsta.
Jag menar, det kanske inte är sån dum idé ändå.
Yeah, honestly.
Jag bara börja i Marieberg, eller?
Exakt.
Så om du ger det du vill så är det helt okej. Jag klarar mig.
Jag vet, men det kanske hade varit skönt att
Yeah.
starta om från början igen.
I do think it would be nice to start from scratch.
Allt påminner om honom ändå.
Yeah.
Simon, vi fattar.
Jo, du har mycket nu.
It's a hard one. I do understand where his friends are coming from in the sense of like they don't want to lose their friend, but at the end of the day, it's not just the stuff with Willa. Well, it is the stuff with Willa, but you know what I mean? It's not just like the love for Willa and the pain of him being gone that's going to be a problem. It's all of the safety issues with the fact that people threw a fucking rock through the window, the fact that people know where he lives, all of the hate that he got online and everything. And even if they do stay broken up, there will still be that problem of the media and the people knowing where you live. Like, that's not a fun thing to have out there. That's not something that would make you feel happy and safe in your home. So I do think that a fresh start is probably needed. But I do like that there was that moment where we've seen throughout the season, Simon has been hurt by Sada because it's always been about the idea of her never realizing that it was like him taking care of her all these years and that he's always the one who's had to put himself out of the way to help her. But I love that in that moment, the idea of going back to that school, she was like, look, if that's what you need, you do it. I will be okay. I really like that point of like, she's finally getting to that point of understanding their relationship and understanding that she needs to be there for him too.
Vi har redan gjort upp alternativa planer för höstterminen.
Okay.
Den norska kungafamiljen var väldigt nöjda med Kortsvanteklö. Men vi uttalar oss inte förrän allting är klart, såklart.
Oh, is that in Norway?
Men Wilhelm, jag ska verkligen försöka se till att de kan närvara på skolavslutningen. Och att ni åker direkt från skolan till Soliden där drottningen kan fokusera på att vila ut och reda upp det.
Oh my god, the way you just put the phone down, wow.
Alltså om vi nu är de sista hillisarna som går ut så, ja men då får vi ju gå ut med lite jävla stake. Visa vart vi står. Sista jävla...
I mean, fair.
Jag är Willes reserv. Alltså inte bara i successionsordning utan att jag får vara med i det faktiska arbetet i kungahuset. Jag kommer få en officiell titel till och med.
Jesus Christ.
Fan vad jobbigt.
Ja, det lät inte kul.
Nope.
Det är din ära.
Jo, säkert. Men jag menar, du hade ju typ den perfekta positionen. Du var med, men du hade ju inget ansvar.
Det kunde ju vara glassar.
True, actually true.
Alltså man vill ju vara nära kungligheterna, men man vill inte vara en.
Vilket är ju väldigt bra för oss. I och för sig.
Det är svinbra läge för oss.
Ja.
Well, honestly, if I was in August's position and I was hearing my friends say stuff like that, I'd be like, go fuck yourselves, get the fuck out of my life. You know, you've basically just said to me that, oh my god, it's great for us that we're like the friends of someone who's actually in the royal family and actually like, come on, that's fucked up. But fascinating that they have this perception of Willa to know that like he has all of these responsibilities and everything, and yet they still have just treated him like shit. They still have no respect for his position, have no respect for the stress he's under, had no respect for the fact that, for instance, he couldn't sign the petition because he couldn't put his name on anything, and yet they somehow do have an understanding of it all. Like, so you're just assholes then? You're just actual assholes. Oh shit. Just looking from a distance.
Hej.
Oh god, what is this gonna be?
Hej. Hur mår du?
Oh my god, I hate this.
Jag känner mig tom. Och rädd. Hur mår du? Jag vet inte. Jag tycker det är konstigt allting bara.
Yeah.
Att skolan ska stänga och så.
You both got a lot going on right now.
Allt här har ju inte direkt varit bra, men det har ju betytt mycket ändå. Jag vill bara säga att det är som...
Tja! Vad ska ni ha på er ikväll? För att jag
Fuck's sake.
på riktigt rensat ut hela min
I
garderob.
want to hear what you had to say, you little bitch.
Ja, vi får se. Jag måste bara gå nu.
Poängen är att vi måste vara tillsammans.
I wanted to hear what Will had to say. Right, before we talk about it, I just want to hear someone's words exactly again. Everything hasn't been that great, but it meant a lot. You could interpret that in both ways, couldn't you? You could interpret it when it comes to like the relationship with the school and the fact that there have been many a time where it hasn't been actually the most positive experience for Simon, but it has obviously been an experience. But you could also link it to their relationship, the idea that everything hasn't been perfect. Everything hasn't been like amazing. Obviously the moments, this is the thing, it's like the moments that they've had together and their literal relationship when it comes to just those moments have been perfect. They have been fantastic. They have been so beautiful to witness. But all of the pressures of Willa's position and all of the like impact that the society had on them when it comes to being public and everything, that obviously led to the relationship not being great. And it wasn't them themselves, it wasn't the bond that they had, it was all of the outside factors that were just completely fucking with it. So it is sad to hear it put in that way, isn't it? It wasn't great, but it meant a lot. Like, I hate hearing that, but I do understand. Just fucking sucks. Oh my god, that is so funny. That is so funny, I love that. To be fair though, if I was a teacher I'd also be pissed because I'm losing my job, so.
Kom igen, det blir vår sista fest ju.
Jag har verkligen inte lust.
I know, but it could be good to just let everything go.
Nej, så illa är det faktiskt inte. Förutom att jag förlorat mitt livs kärlek och jag har fått hela skolan att stänga och jag har sagt alla saker jag inte borde säga till min mamma. Vilket förmodligen kommer göra mig till kung. 18 år gammal.
Jesus Christ.
Ha lite kul. Kom igen.
Yeah.
Jag har också lite motivation.
Oh shit.
Le Blanc.
Oh, the Sauvignon.
Partyprinsen. Okej, kom igen. Vi måste byta om på dig. För det här...
Varför?
Det är white party. Slutdiskuterat. Hur tänker du att vi gör? Ska vi hoppa ut genom fönstret eller? Jag kan alltid köra kung fu med vakterna annars.
Kung fu kick
Malin,
the
kan du komma in?
guards. I love you, Felice. Hiding the wine.
Ni kan hålla er på behörigt avstånd och se till att jag inte råkar illa ut. Jag slipper smita härifrån. Det är win-win.
It's a win-win. Because, like, if you don't, I will just be sneaking out. So... But also, can I just say, not to take away from that scene, because that was a beautiful scene, but I think that that was a clear difference in something I was getting annoyed at in a previous episode, was the way that Felice's friends were sort of saying to her, like, oh, you've been sad about this whole thing with Sada, but let's, you know, let's get a pickup for you. Come on, let's get through this rough patch. It felt very much, how do I put this? It felt very much like they were doing it for their sake. They were doing it for, like, their wanting their friend back, but not in that sense, more in, like, a selfish sense of, like, I don't want to have to deal with you being sad anymore. You know, that's how it felt. That is not how that scene felt one bit. That felt like a genuine friend, a genuine love for someone and wanting them to like have a good time tonight and get through all of the shit, you know? It felt very different. So comparing those two scenes is interesting in my mind. I genuinely think that they have a much deeper bond than Felice has with at least Frederica and Stella. I don't know about Madison just because we don't get enough Madison. It's made me sad that on the last episode we still haven't got as much Madison as I wanted. But I think that Madison and Felice definitely have a better friendship than she has with the other two, in my opinion. But definitely, there was a clear indication of like a difference between those two scenes, in my opinion.
Så du menar alltså att Hilly ska ha sin sista fest och du ska inte dit?
Yeah, come on now.
Ja, men Ville kanske kommer.
Yeah?
Alltså, jag vet inte om jag orkar träffa honom.
I know.
Om du känner att du har sagt allt du vill säga och verkligen fått ett avslut så behöver du inte gå.
Yeah, good point. I actually love that.
Ja, men hur vet man det?
I feel like you would know.
Alltså, ett avslut. Hur vet man när man har fått det?
Ja, så det vet man väl bara.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, isn't it? That's a really interesting point. Sorry to pause again. I know I just pressed play again, but that is a really good point. How do you know when you've got closure? Because you kind of just do, don't you? When you feel as though all is said and done and you know that eventually you will get to a point where you are going to be happy again and it's just a matter of waiting it out, I think that's when you know that you have closure. When you think to yourself like, oh, but there are so many more things I want to say, or like you just have this feeling of unfinished business. You have this feeling of like, I don't want this to be the last time we've spoken because I feel like something feels wrong in that. Something feels wrong with the idea that we will not speak again. It's almost as if I haven't said everything I wanted to say. And I think that that's what it is. You get this feeling of, not that I would want to speak to them again, because I feel like that feeling will come no matter what when it comes to a breakup. But if you get to a point where you're like, I could from this day forward never speak to this person again, and I would be content, I think that I could get to a place of being happy. I think that's when you know that you've got closure. Having that part of you that's like still holding on, that part of you that's like, oh, but I want to speak to him tomorrow, like I need to talk about XYZ, that's when you know that you haven't got it. But even then, it doesn't really explain the feeling though, does it? It's a weird one.
Okay.
Oh, friends are going to... Let's fucking go. Oh, I didn't even realize they were playing a version of Revolution. Getting anxious. Oh. The way August is sitting there like, do I say something? Or do I just like leave him?
Skål.
Oh. Wow. I didn't expect that.
Jag är ledsen.
Oh, for?
Du behövde vara med om det där. På din invigning.
Wow.
Väldigt ledsen att det var Erik.
Wow, Willa. I didn't expect this from Willa, I'm not gonna lie.
Du vet att Erik älskade dig mer än någonting annat. Videon, de 2 killarna, det hade inte betytt någonting.
Yeah.
Erik hade älskat dig oavsett vad.
Yeah.
Och jag är så ledsen.
Wow.
För allt.
God, the way you can feel that it's so genuine.
Förlåt, Willa.
Tack.
Oh, it's almost making me emotional. I did not think we would get this. Wow. Talk about unexpected scenes. I think that was one of those true moments where I genuinely don't think that I realized until right now that I was harboring a little bit of resentment myself for Willa. Like, I've always thought that it was just like my pure own opinion that was why I was so held back from forgiving August and being able to understand August. But I think that a little bit was that obviously throughout the show we've grown to love and care for the characters, and we've grown to like have our own bonds with them as they are. It feels weird to talk about TV show characters that way, but you know how it is. We're human. We feel emotions. These people are depicted as real life people. Like, of course we're going to grow attachments to them. And I think that it wasn't until this moment that I truly realized that a lot of why I was still so like angry at August was just because Willa was because I was upset for him and I was angry for him. I feel like that moment in a way kind of it's crazy that this is a TV show and I feel like I've had resentment for someone, but I feel like that scene genuinely just let me let it go. It doesn't mean that I've like fully just been like, oh no, it's fine, August. Hey, you're amazing. Let's hug. No, but I think that was the missing piece that I needed to get to a place where I am now happy to have closure. That's it. It's closure, isn't it? It's exactly what we were just talking about. I think that apology, that sincere, deep apology where you could truly feel that it was coming from his heart, I think that is the missing piece that I needed to have closure with August so that I could then move on with his character. So that I could then be like, okay, I accept that and I'm willing to see you in a more positive light now than just being this dick. You know what I mean? But also Willa, my God, what a fantastic moment of growth. What a fantastic moment of showing how far he's come. Genuinely, I think that the thing that happened with Simon, the breakup and everything, I'm refusing to believe that they're over. I'm going to put that out there right now. I'm refusing to believe it. There's too much love there. There's too much not said for me to just be able to move on. But I think the last episode, breaking up with him and having to like face the reality that it's the position that he's in, it's the problems that have come up that are his problems, they are problems of the crown, they are problems of the position, and that is what's ruined his relationship. I think that has truly gotten him to the point of letting go of a lot of shit, and I think that the main thing that allowed that to happen was shouting at his parents last episode. I think that having that moment of actually fucking just being honest with them, not putting up this facade anymore and trying to act as though everything's normal, that Eric's gone, no, this is what he has experienced. These are his feelings. You have not been there for him as his parents. And I think him finally just letting that out and letting it go, I think that genuinely allowed him to get to a place of realizing that he's got so much shit and so much like animosity and so many negative feelings within him that they're just not fucking worth it. And seeing August there looks so apologetic and realizing that it did come from the heart. I think that Willa had that moment of realizing the same way that Sada was talking about earlier when it came to giving people second chances and talking about forgiveness and everything. It's the idea of like, you did fuck up. We all know that. You know that. I know it. But in this moment, I can tell that you are genuinely so upset with yourself for doing it that I can move on from that. I can accept that you knew what you did was wrong and that you have to live with that now. Doesn't mean that they're going to be friends. Doesn't mean that they're going to have like a good relationship with each other. But I think that was a very special moment where Willa could finally see the human within August. Because I think when someone hurts you, you definitely get down that rabbit hole of not thinking that they're not human. But you know what I mean? You think that they are an arsehole in every way, shape and form. We've seen it in previous episodes where no matter what August does, Willa has to twist it in his mind to see it as the worst possible reason as to why he's doing something, the worst possible outcome. And it's just interesting that we've actually seen this moment of, because Willa's been through so much himself, I think he's finally been able to look at August and just think, you know what? You're human as well. I can recognize that you fucked up and I can let myself move on from that now. But also, what a great moment from August to like reassure Willa that Eric did love him. Because obviously from that moment where August told Willa about the stuff with Eric, it would have been so like world ending, brain shattering, you know, like it would completely alter your opinion of your brother that you've had in your mind. And so I think that knowing that August had that like extra information, August knew parts of Eric that Willa didn't, to then get the reassurance from August as well that he knows that Eric would have loved him. The video would have meant nothing. He knows that Eric would have been supportive of him and would have given everything for his brother. I think that was such a special moment. So, Jesus Christ, who would have thought that would be the moment so far that's got me the most emotional? That was fantastic.
Hey.
Oh. How's this gonna go after the kiss last episode?
Du behöver inte ljuga om varför du är här.
Jag ljuger inte.
Så du har inte känslor för honom?
She didn't say that.
Jag har känslor för August.
Oh.
Men jag har starkare, viktigare känslor för dig. Och för Simon och för mig själv.
For myself, wow.
Minns du när du hjälpte mig att spy här?
Det var den bästa dagen i mitt liv.
The sad thing is it's probably too bless.
Du sa att du tyckte att mitt hår var fint när det lockade sig. Kanske låter skittöntigt, men det betydde väldigt mycket för mig. Jag tror att det är mitt fel att skolan ska stängas.
No.
Jag sa som det var till skolinspektionen.
Then how's it your fault?
Jag sa hur det var med hierarkin på skolan. Jag berättade hur vi har det på invigningarna.
Yep.
Så jag berättade verkligen allt.
Well done.
Bra.
Yeah.
Bra.
Good job.
Ja, varför skulle du ljuga?
Yeah.
Saknat dig.
Jag saknat dig också.
That was so good. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I paused to talk about it and I kind of just sat with it for a minute. Just thinking about it all and thinking through it all, because I think that is one of those scenes where you go through life and I don't think you genuinely realize who your real friends are when you're their age. I feel like it's when you grow up and when you actually go through shit and when you've been through these dark moments that you truly come to realize who your friends are and who are the ones who will be there for you through anything, you know? I think that when I compare the bond that Sada and Felice have to, for instance, Stella and Frederica, I find that Stella and Frederica, their relationship with Felice reminds me very much of my old school friends. It's the vibe of like, you have fun when you're younger, you have good times, but if shit hit the fan, if you were at your darkest moments, would they genuinely be there for you? Would you feel loved and cared for by them? Because I don't know if I get that from her relationship with Stella and Frederica. They very much feel like friends of circumstance left over from school. You know, like, I don't recognize who I was at 18. I don't recognize who that man was. And when I look at myself back then and I think of like the friends that I had and everything, they were superficial friends. It is friends where like you think that they're your friends because like you hang out with each other all day at school, you have a good time, you have laughs and everything. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I would have gone to any of them about my deep, dark secrets, you know? Whereas the friends that I have in my life now, as I've matured, as I've got older, and as I've realized what actually fucking matters in life, I think that all of my friends that I have in my life right now, I could go to about anything and we would have a genuine deep conversation. And if they came to me about something, I would drop everything to try and help them, you know? And that's only like, what, 4 friends? I only have 4 friends now compared to like when I was back at school and I'm more. But it's like when you come to realize that like, you don't need those superficial relationships. Those superficial relationships are good for what they are in the sense of like you have fun and all of that. But at the end of the day, why would you want people in your life that you can't be yourself around? And that's what I get from Felice. I may be reading into it too much, and I may be projecting on it too much based on my own past experiences, but the vibe that I get from Felice when it comes to her friends feels very much like, for instance, the fact that she got up early to straighten her hair and everything. It's almost like she has to wear this mask when she's around them. She can't be her true authentic self, because when she was her true authentic self and she went to those school people and she explained everything that happens and she was honest, they fully just thought about themselves. They fully thought about their life at school, how this was affecting them, how it doesn't matter what you've been through, Felice. This means that you have caused the school to shut down. Like, to me, that is not a good friend. That is not a friend who understands you. That is not a friend who is going to be there for you. Sada is in the same position that they are in. If anything, an even worse position, because their parents have got money. They will still be set up to go to a good school. Sada, she doesn't know where she's going to end up after this. It's very up in the air. They don't know if they're moving or anything. And so it's that whole idea of like, after all that, Sada stood there, not a single part of her thought to herself, oh, so you did this. She was just sat there like, okay, you told the truth. Wow, great. Why would you not tell the truth? Like, I'm confused as to why you wouldn't do that. Like, well done. I'm proud of you for doing that. That is a true, genuine friend, and that is a genuine connection. And I think that that was beautiful to see that brought up again. Sorry for rambling. Sorry for ranting. I know that wasn't like that big of a scene, but that scene meant a lot to me. Their relationship has been something that I've been wanting to see come back all season long, and so it is great to actually get to that point. But also, to speak about her and August, because I haven't really talked about that this episode. As the season has gone on, I started the season very anti-August and Sada getting together, and even last episode, I was very upset about the whole idea of, it felt as though he was forcing the letter on her, and I do still have issues with that. That's just my own personal, I don't like anyone forcing me to do anything that I'm uncomfortable with, and I felt like that's what he was doing, so I still do have issues with that. When it comes to their relationship, the biggest issue that I've had is not necessarily between the two of them, it's more so that we know that Simon and his mother both have issues with August, and rightfully so. And I would just rather Sada not put herself through that for him, you know, not put herself through potentially losing her mother and brother for August. I would just feel like those bonds are so much more special and important than this guy that you have developed feelings for. And yeah, you could disagree. I completely get that. But just for me, when I look at my family and my relationship with my siblings and my parents and all of that, I could not live my life without them. I could not imagine being without them. And the idea of this guy that I've like grown to have feelings for at school, the idea of that jeopardizing those relationships, just, I couldn't do it. So that's why I've been like so anti Sada and August, because I don't think that they would be happy if she did that, and I don't think that they could accept that she did that. But at the end of the day, she's their own person. If she does genuinely love this man and she wants him in her life, then by all means go ahead. I just fear the reaction that they will have finding that out. And that is where I've always been struggling with this season. But I guess if she does want to be with him, and if she does have those feelings for him, we'll see. If she wants to act on them, we'll see what her family say about it, how they feel about it. But yeah, you know, it's just like, I want Sada, and even now, I want August to be happy. And I don't know if them two being together would make each other happy just because of all the shit that will follow them. But like I said, I guess we will see.
Vem släppte in er?
What?
Men vadå, vad gör de här? De går inte ens på Hillers.
Oh, okay. Alright then. To be fair, that was a bit abrasive.
Jag ligger med killar.
Men alltså, Nisse, varför skulle vi skratta? Vi fixar ju det. Ja, du är så jävla...
Okay.
Ja. Seriöst, du kan få vem...
Nice that they're there for their friend, but why would we laugh about that? I do take issue with that because, like, come on now. You know what you're like. You know how you can be a bit of a fucking dick, mate. Don't start. But anyway.
Hej.
Hej.
She pushed him away. Interesting.
Jag var så glad att se dig.
Det är inte det.
Interesting.
Vi behöver inte gömma oss mer. Oj, jag tänkte ut allt. När jag börjar GMU så kan jag alltid komma över på helgerna och så kan vi bara få vara.
Okay.
August, det är över.
Okay. Wow. Why? I want to hear it from her.
Jag ser vem du är, August, men jag tror inte du ser mig.
Wow.
Du är kär i den du blir med mig. Det är inte samma sak.
That's... Whoa. Sorry, but that took me back.
Jag kan göra vad som helst. Vi åker iväg. Vi kan fly till en...
Nej.
Vadå? Du bara bestämmer att det är slut. Och så är det bara det.
That's how a relationship works between two people, mate. I'm sorry, but if one person doesn't want to be in it,
Jag vet inte om jag kan ta det.
well, you're gonna have to.
Det kommer gå över.
It will. I love that just purely plays on the growth that we've seen with Sada throughout the season, and the idea that I've been saying it, to be honest. I've been literally saying that the thing with August is the thing that he wants from Sada the most is how it makes him feel. The thing that he loves the most about their relationship and why he cannot live without it in his mind is because he loves himself when he is around her. He loves the better person that he is when he's around her. But if that is not a positive influence for her, if it's not a relationship that she wants, if it's not something that is like fulfilling for her in her life, then she's absolutely allowed to not be in a relationship with you. And I'm not going to hold what he said against him, because this was a very raw emotional moment, and he's obviously drunk and going through it all, and so a lot is on him at the moment. But like, that is how relationships work. You can't say, I don't know if I can take that. You decided it and what, it's suddenly over. Like, yeah, that's how that works. When you got two people in a partnership and one person doesn't want to continue that anymore, then it's done. It doesn't matter if the other party agrees. It can't work anymore. You can't be together. And I'm very, very proud of Sada for not only being kind to him in that moment and actually realizing that that's not what she wanted and that she wants something different out of life, but also to just be honest with him and to tell him that, look, the reason that you love me so much is not for me, is not for my attributes, is not for anything to do with me. It's because you like the version of yourself you are when you're with me. And that is not okay. That's not something that Sada deserves in a relationship, you know? She deserves more than that. She would want to be loved for every aspect of herself. And so I don't think any of us could really judge her for that. She's definitely been an outlet for August, someone who can really help him through his mental health problems, really help him through his dark moments. But you should never put any of that on one singular person. You can go to people for help, absolutely. You can go to people with your troubles and to have them give you advice and to help you. But when you put all of your issues onto one person and you rely solely on that person to help you, it's not fair on them. And that's when you know that you really should be seeking therapy. You should be seeking help, because that is the only way that you will truly be able to get to a place where you can be happy with yourself. When you are happy in your own skin, within your own space, on your own, that is when you know that you are truly healed and you are ready to like take that next step. There are so many people who go into relationships without doing that first, without solving that key problem of like being comfortable on their own and then feeling like they want to get in a relationship after that. Because when you don't do that, that's where a lot of relationship issues come up, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not a fucking relationship expert, but in my opinion, from what I've experienced and everything, if you do not solve your own personal troubles, your own personal mental health stuff before getting into a relationship, you're doing a disservice to both of you. You got to put in the effort, you got to put in the time to making yourself feel better, you know, making yourself get to a good place again. He doesn't know what to do.
Kan vi inte bara skita i allt som har hänt?
And be together or just be friends? Just for tonight, okay.
Inget kungahus, ingen prins, ingen sosse, inget drama, inget då.
But that's the point. All of those external factors are what made the relationship not work. That's what's so sad about it all.
Vi är värda det.
We're worth it. Stop.
Jag gillar det.
Please don't just be one last night, though. Please. The fact that every issue that Simon listed there was like an external issue, something that they couldn't do anything about, just said it all. Oh, you bastard.
Jag minns den dagen.
Me too.
Simon, jag kan inte fatta. Hur fan kan det liksom bara vara slut mellan dig och mig? Jag kan liksom inte fortsätta känna. Hur kan du bara vara över mig?
He's not over you. It's hard to explain, isn't it?
Jag trodde att det skulle vara vi.
Det har varit vi. Eller vad vi varit fint.
The problem was that it was never just you two. It was you two with everything else piled on. Oh shit, okay, finally! Jesus Christ, it's been long enough, you guys. The police are just there smiling. I don't know if I can take this. It never was wrong.
Jag hoppas du någon gång når dit. För vi var en revolution. Men bara för varandra.
If only for each other.
Innan allt föll samman. Föll samman. Föll samman.
That was a lot. That was a lot. Okay. Oh, I need like a moment to process those lyrics and just think it through. I'm gonna see if I can find like something online that just has like all the lyrics rather than having to keep like watching over it, trying to find each different change, you know. Okay, perfect. I found them. So it's been the two of us. I don't want to forget it, but promise me, please swear that those who can't understand won't make you hide it, who you are deep inside. That is so beautiful. Basically, with everything that's been going on in our relationship and the fact that you had to hide who you were for so long, even if this ends, even if we are not together, please don't let them have that over you again. Please don't let them try and keep you down. Please don't let them not be who you are. And then obviously the line that got me, we were never what was wrong, which is, it's so true. It's been my opinion the entire time. I have never thought that their relationship was what was wrong. I've never thought that they were wrong for each other. I've just always been of the opinion that obviously they are people and they're going to make mistakes. That's to not say that they are some perfect couple who would never do wrong. We literally have discussed this whole episode about the fact that people will do wrong. People do wrong. It's just being human. But I don't think that any of their fundamental issues, any of the issues that would have led to a breakup were ever because of them and their love for each other and how they treated each other with that love. I think that they were always, all of the outside factors, all of the pressure that was on Willa and the outbursts that obviously he was having because of that pressure and that anxiety and the fact that that was not allowing a good relationship with his boyfriend. He couldn't be totally honest and totally with him on everything because it became so much more. It's like as soon as the truth came out and as soon as their relationship was in the public and the fact that Willa had to like control Simon and stop him from like making social media posts and all that, it definitely hit their relationship hard because it felt very much as though Willa was just like this spokesperson for the palace, constantly controlling Simon, making him do what making him not do what he wanted, basically. And that was just one of many factors that led to this. So I think that's really beautiful to like put that in a song to Willa, to even let him know that even Simon himself understands that they were never what was wrong. It was everything else. And then obviously, and remember when you said I could get to be free, I hope that you will get there and get to be you. That is Willa in a nutshell. This whole situation in a nutshell. The idea of him just getting his fucking freedom, actually being his own person, actually allowing him to flourish as his own person, because the palace keeping him under lock and key and just keeping him so controlled, I would never want to live that life. Oh my god, that sounds fucking horrible. Like, we can all sit here and say that they're privileged. Yeah, they may have money. Yeah, they may have all of these superficial things. They may never have to worry about stuff like paying the bills and everything. And yes, that is definitely a privilege. But from what we've seen in this show, and the depiction of all the stress, the anxiety, the zero support that you get when it comes to your own mental health, I would not want to be anywhere fucking near being the crown prince. Right now, if I had the option, be in Willa's position or be where I am right now, I would pick where I am right now 1000%. Nothing would ever make me want to be in that position due to what we have seen it put him through. But obviously, I can recognize that I myself, even though I'm not the most privileged and everything, I am also privileged in myself just to be sitting here safe and happy in the world where so many people do not get that, you know? So that's definitely from my point of view. I'm sure there are so many people who are in worse positions that would take it, but I want to get the point across that, like, that is not a nice, happy, great position to be in. If I was in Willa's position compared to where I am right now, I would want to go back in a second. But then the final part of the song, obviously, it shouldn't be a revolution to love each other, but you were my revolution before it fell apart. It's literally a play on what his mother was telling him, wasn't it? The idea of it shouldn't be this hard to love someone. Because it's the whole idea of, like, a revolution is this huge thing. A revolution is like overthrowing something, completely changing a system. And it shouldn't have to require a revolution just to love each other. But that's where I keep getting so lost in it all, because, like, it's so fucking sad because it wasn't their love that required a revolution. It wasn't their love that needed to change. It was the world needed to accept that their love was just fucking real and just fucking okay and just accept it, you know? So to get to this point, it's just like, it just angers me, but we still have time in the episode. Willa could really take that I could get to be free comment and fucking run with it, give up the crown and everything, but I guess we will have to see. We haven't even seen him talk to his parents because obviously his mum isn't well enough to talk to him and everything, which I get the mum side of things. The dad not saying a single word to him, like, go fuck yourself. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that was a beautiful song and I really appreciate that, Simon. Actually, like, also the courage it took to finish it and send it to him. Good job, mate. I hope that this is a changing point for Willa and understanding that he is within every right and he deserves to give up that crown and just live a fucking happy life. Because right now it's bringing him nothing but pain. Oh, shit. That was always his, like, link to Eric, wasn't it? And it was the idea of, like, the crown on there reminding him being a prince and all that. Could we have just got symbolism of him wanting to give up the crown? Is that what that was? The idea of just throwing it in the bin, throwing that expectation of him being the crown prince away?
En applåd för våra avgångselever.
Must be so weird to be at a graduation knowing that you're not going to get that, you know?
Med samlade krafter kommer vi ju överklaga Skolinspektionens beslut. Så kampen om Hillerskas framtid är långt ifrån över.
Okay, I didn't even know that you could appeal it. Interesting. Let's go.
Och för att hedra våra avgångsstudenter så sjunger vi tillsammans Hillysången.
Hell yeah.
Låt oss hoppas att det inte är för sista gången.
That was so cute. That was beautiful. Oh. Oh my god. Right, before we get to this, because this is going to be loaded, isn't it? That was so beautiful that they did that for everyone, but also for Will and Simon. The fact that they actually sung his version of the song, like, oh, fuck you. Tapping into my little heart. But that was beautiful. That was the way that Felice, like, looked back at him as well, being like, yeah, bitch. What a lovely moment.
Willem, du hade rätt.
Wow.
Jag fanns inte där när du behövde mig. Och ja, jag vill be om förlåtelse för det. Jag hoppas verkligen att jag kan finnas där för dig nu. Kan du förlåta mig, Willem?
Nice. Obviously, it's going to take work when it comes to your relationship, but that was really nice. My little boy. Even stuff like that, we don't hear stuff like that. Like.
Och så den, är det till mig? Och nu till det viktiga, betygen. Det kan alltid vara bättre, men jag är faktiskt nöjd.
Even the fact that Willa can just stand here listening, like, good job.
Nerverna.
Wow!
Jag kör ju bara.
Oh, nice. I'm sorry, but just that singular moment of her realizing what her son was doing, following him and actually smiling. I don't know why that's hit me so hard. It's just like we've come so far with their relationship, and last episode was something that was so needed. Something where they had been pushing the issue to the side. They had not been talking about Eric. They had not been fucking being there for their son in his grief, losing a brother. And like she said, it's like, I do have respect for the fact that she obviously is going through a lot of stuff. I mean, she's been in horrible health because of it all. But like she said, I should have gone to get help sooner. That was another thing that she needed to do, not just for herself, but for her son as well and for her family, to go and get help so that she could be better. And I'm so glad that she's had that realization. God, we've had everyone have like such amazing realizations this episode, which like, yeah, it makes sense for a series finale, but you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's a lot and I'm loving it.
Jag vill bara säga tack. Förlåt han. Även om den var sorglig och att allt var förgäves. Att vi gav upp. Inget var förgäves. Och jag gav aldrig upp på oss. Jag gav upp på kungahuset.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I like that. I just hope that Willis says me too.
Hej då, Simon.
Really?
Puss, du får en fin sommar. Tack, Ville.
Is that it? Oh, please don't tell me that's the end of them. I don't know how I can deal with that. Honestly, with everything I've said, just please, August, please be king. Please. Like, it's all I want now. If that's their last goodbye, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to accept that, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. What was that moment looking at her? Thinking to himself, like, his lack of freedom, maybe? The fact that he's always been watched, always got this, like, presence over him, you know?
Felice, the taxi will be here in 5 minutes, okay? New York, baby! Grab your bags, we're just gonna say bye, okay?
They go straight to New York? That's crazy.
Hej. Hej. Går det bra?
There we go.
Var ska du någonstans?
Hem. Jo, du ska till New York.
Jag vet inte riktigt.
Oh?
Jag vet inte riktigt om en resa till New York var det jag behövde när jag var som mest ledsen över det som hände mellan oss.
Think she
kompisar
needed
som
a
slänger
friend.
pengar på problemet istället för att lyssna. Jag behövde någon som jag kunde vara ärlig med. Och det är inte alltid så lätt med dem.
I love you.
Men det är det med dig.
De har nog rätt i att New York är en lite roligare stad än...
Fast du har ju bil. Då kan man ju åka någon annanstans.
We could go somewhere else?
Vart då? Var som helst.
Oh, sorry. That I loved that so much. I'm sorry. The fact that Felice had the realization that that we've been talking about was fantastic. The fact that they were friends who were just throwing money at a problem when all she really needed was someone to be there for her and listen to her. Which Sada is. It's what I was saying earlier about like having your like close friends who you can truly feel like you can be open and honest with, and then having those friends that like, yeah, you can have fun, you can have a good time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not saying eliminate those friends from your life, you know, like you do you. If those are the kind of relationships that you want, then absolutely, of course, we like, it's so good to have people that make you feel good in your life, so long as you do also have those friends that are going to be there for you. Those people who you can talk to when you're down and who do listen and try and understand you, you know? Those relationships are the fucking best relationships in life. I would not give up my friends for the fucking world. And I think that's when you truly know that you've got friends for life, you know? You've got friends where, like, they are truly your people. And I think that this episode, Felice has definitely recognized that. It's like something has been missing this whole time she's been upset with Sada. Something has been missing in regards to, like, actually trying to move on from that hurt and trying to get through it. And it was just that she didn't have a shoulder to cry on where someone would genuinely listen. She only had people who didn't understand how to help her. And the best that they could do was getting a trip to New York, which, like, I do think it's fair. Like, her friends don't mean anything against her. And I think that that is a thing to recognize. It's not that they truly don't care about her. I just think that there are just certain people in life that truly do get you. And finding those people, never fucking let them go.
Jag är så stolt över dig.
Är vi båda?
Ja, det har varit ett brutalt år måste man säga.
Yeah.
Kan vi dra upp Asien? Tack.
En dag kommer du att bli en fantastisk kung, jag vet det.
What if he doesn't want to be though?
Vad händer om jag inte vill det?
Oh shit.
Snälla.
No, come
Snälla,
on.
inte
Please,
idag.
please.
Alltså vi har pratat om det här.
Nej, men jag menar inte att göra dig upprörd, mamma. Det är det sista jag vill. Sen fattar jag att du har svårt att ta mig seriöst, för jag har sagt det förut och det har kommit ur frustration och det har varit impulsivt.
Yeah, wow.
Alltså jag förstår om det är tveksamheter och jag förstår att det är blandade känslor. Och Gud ska veta att det var det för mig med. Men alltså, det måste ju finnas ett värre livsöde att tilldelas än det här.
Just because there's a worse one doesn't mean there can't be a better one.
Vi har inte valt. Ingen har valt. Folket har inte valt. Och jag ser hur du får dig att må. Och hur du får dig att må. Jag brukade tro att Erik i alla fall var lycklig, men jag tror inte han var det.
Wow.
Kan jag verkligen förstå att det här med Simon har varit
It's
omvälvande
not about
för
that.
dig?
Det handlar inte om honom.
Yeah, it's about him.
Det har alltid varit den här rollen som har varit problemet för mig. Jag vet att du tror att jag kommer att ändra mig, men jag kommer inte att göra det.
I just don't think he's designed for it. He doesn't want it. It'll be a bad life for him.
Vill inte det här.
Yeah. But August does. That's the thing.
Då är det där din arvtagare.
Yeah. He would do the job far better than Willa, because I think he would actually be happy in the role. Willa would just be living a life of following the motion, you know?
Kan vi öppna dörren? Jag älskar det.
Låt honom gå.
Let him go. Oh my god, the fact that we actually saw them sit there and have a fucking honest conversation. How has it taken this long for us to get that? Shit. Run after it. Or like get a lift somewhere. Oh, come on. Look in the rearview mirror, please. Please. Come on. Yes. Stop the car, stop the car, stop the car, stop the car, stop the car. Yeah? Oh, my boys gonna be running at each other. Oh, no, okay. I don't want it
Jag vill
either.
inte vara kung.
Yeah.
Eller kronprins. Jag sa precis det till mamma. Hon är fine med det. Gjorde du det för min skull?
He did it for himself.
Nej, för min skull. Jag vill vara med dig, Simon.
Oh, I'm so fucking proud of you, mate. Well done.
Jag är säker på att du är över mig.
He was never over you. Let's be real.
Vad tror du?
What the hell do you think? You're free. You're both fucking free. You can be whoever you want. Live whatever fucking life you want. Let's go. Oh, stop, you bastards. Oh. Woo! Oh, them four. Oh, what a fantastic group. Oh my god. Simon, Sada, Felice, and Willa. Like, come on now. I love this so much. He's gonna look at the camera. Yes! And that's it. Oh. That's it then. Oh, I'm just gonna let this play out and then we will get into breaking it down. So yes, there we have season 3, episode 6, the last episode of Young Royals, and that was absolutely fantastic. They covered everything that I wanted. We got Sada and Felice's relationship. We got Willa and his parents actually repairing their relationship and having a genuine, honest moment. We had Simon be honest with Willa and be like, look, I love our relationship. I love you. It's the royal family that I can't be with. And for them both to have that moment of understanding that it was never them. It was never their relationship. It was never a problem that they had. It was what everyone else was putting on them that really made it crumble. And what a fucking fantastic show. This could be one of those shows where like I'll rewatch it in a year and I'll just cry. You know, I'll just cry the whole way through because it's so sad when shows like this which means so much to us end, but it is also so fulfilling to have this beautiful story that we can cherish. Like there are so many shows that were cancelled, so many shows that never got to get to a place of feeling finished and feeling like you could just tie a little bow and be like, this is the full envisioned story and it is a masterpiece, you know? It's so rare to get that nowadays. So I'm so thankful that we were able to get it for Young Royals. I'm so thankful that we can tie it off like this and just have this masterpiece that we can come back to in the future, because it has meant so much to so many of us. These queer shows have been absolutely fantastic in the past few years. Obviously, we have Love Victor, Young Royals, Heartstopper. Those are, I feel like, the main three of recent years that have kind of been not necessarily groundbreaking, but in a way groundbreaking, just with how they're just unapologetically queer stories, and that's it, you know? They are what they are, and we're here to fucking watch them. And it's just warmed my heart that they've been as popular as they have, you know? That we've actually been able to get all of these stories and have these beautiful shows that we can come back to over time. Obviously, I hope and pray that Heartstopper gets the same treatment and we're able to get its story finalized and finished, but I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, that was a fantastic finale. Dealt with everything I wanted, and it dealt with everything I wanted in such a way that I didn't think that they would. Like, I would think that they would leave so many more things up to interpretation, and you would just have to be like, okay, I guess from what they said, this must have happened. But no, we got given every answer we fucking wanted. I'm sure there are a few things that maybe have been left undone and we don't really know what happened. But for me, I think that every single box that I had that I wanted to be ticked this season got ticked. And I'm so happy for it. It's like they wrote this for me. It's like everything that I wanted happened. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I like get in the writer's room or something? That would have been amazing. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And there's not much more I can say about it, you know. But with that said, though, I believe we have quite a few questions from our patrons. So let's have a look, because that'll probably help me actually have a rundown of the episode, because right now I am blank. That ending has kind of like overridden every thought. Right, as always, we're probably not going to get through every single question. I'm going to read every question, but if I feel as though I've either covered it in the reaction or I've covered it answering another question, I will be skipping it, so please don't take offense. It's nothing to do with the question itself, it's just I'm not going to be repeating myself over and over. You know what I mean? But yes, with that said, first up, Edvin, who plays Willa, said that the final look is Willa saying to the audience, trust me, I'm going to be fine, you can go. What do you think of the symbolism in that? Now that he has left the royal family, we no longer get to see his life, that he can live without eyes on him. Wow. Oh my god. That's beautiful. I didn't even think about it in that sense. It's like being a public figure, of being this prince was why the cameras were on him, were why the audience were able to see him. But now he truly gets to live his life in freedom away from everything. That's fucking crazy. That is beautiful. And also the idea of like, trust me, I'm gonna be fine, you can go, is kind of like, because obviously watching this show, we've all had such deep caring for like all of these characters, and we've wanted what's best for them, and it's kind of like we've been watching, hoping for the best for them. So the idea that he's saying to us, look, I'm gonna be fine, you don't need to watch over me anymore, you don't need to like be there for me, try and like protect me, you know, I'm gonna be good, you can go. That is so fucking, that has touched my heart. Thank you for that comment. I did not know about that. I probably wouldn't have known about that, to be honest, so thank you so much. But yes, moving on, next up, what do you think of Willa throwing away the Frog Prince snow globe? I took it as a symbolism. I know that it was definitely like, our thoughts of that have always been his like connection to Eric, hasn't it? The idea of like this snow globe that connects him with Eric, and the idea of being the Crown Prince. But I think more so it was him throwing it away because he was letting go of the idea of being Crown Prince. Not fully, because in that moment he hadn't fully let go of it. But I think looking at that frog, looking at all the symbolism that it had, looking at the crown on its head and just thinking to himself, like, even if it was like subconsciously or something within him was telling him even then that that is not what he wanted. That is not the life that he wanted. It is not worth everything he'd be giving up within himself to have that privileged life. You know, like, for him, that was not a privileged life. For him, that was a life that was handed to him, a life that was never going to be his. He was given a role and he was going to have to fulfill it for the rest of his life. That is not what he wanted at all. And I think that that was symbolizing that beginning of, that's what he was thinking in his head. But obviously the pressure of the crown and the pressure of his family, he didn't think that he'd ever get the chance to throw it away. And so that was his like way of throwing it out without actually doing it. And then finally seeing his parents, having that moment, feeling like he could be open and honest in that car, that was when he truly thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna actually go through with it and I'm gonna let go of it. I think that was like such a perfect way of showing that those thoughts were beginning in his head to the audience, you know? But yes, moving on. Next up, did you notice that the song Willa started singing during the lake scene was the song Simon was singing at the very first episode, the first time Willa ever saw him? Yes, I did, don't you worry. And also the one Willa drunkenly started singing outside the party at the end of that episode. Oh, I forgot he was singing outside. That bit I did forget. But yeah, trust and believe, I know that song off by heart. I know it. But yeah, the way they used music this episode was really good as well. Like, even the ones where it wasn't anything that like our characters had written, like it wasn't something that someone had written, even just like the music that they had, it was just so well incorporated into the story that I don't have a bad thing to say about this episode. I'm gonna be honest. It might just be because I'm in a haze of just watching it, but I don't have a negative thing. Nothing spoke to me in a sense where I was like, I wish they did this. It was perfect for me. It covered everything I wanted, and everyone felt like they had had such a journey. Everyone had so much growth at the end of this series. And that is all I ever want for our characters, to see them grow and to see them be happy. And that's what we fucking got. Right, moving on. Next up, do you think Willa will ever be able to lead a normal life, or will he forever be under the public scrutiny as the one that left? How does that play out in his relationship to Simon? It's definitely a point. I don't think that there will ever be a time where he won't have any cameras on him, won't have any stories about him. But I think that, like, I think it's going to be so much less than what it would have been, to the point where it's probably going to be a relatively normal life. There just might be a few stories here and there. Like, they're not going to constantly talk about him over and over, especially if he makes preparations to make his life more private, you know? Doesn't speak to the press, doesn't talk about things, makes it clear to the press that, like, I'm not going to be talking about this, so you should just be giving up, which, yes, that doesn't always work. They probably will just keep hounding him, but you know what I mean? Over the years, as he keeps putting up this wall and being like, I'm not going to discuss my public life, I think that over time, public life, private life, over time, it's definitely going to ease out and get to a point where it would barely be noticeable. I don't think he'll ever not be a public figure, because it is what it is. Once in the royal family, always in the royal family, but I don't think it'll be anywhere near the level that it is right now, especially when most of the problems they had, yeah, public scrutiny was definitely a big one, but a lot of the problems that they had were the fact that Willa didn't know how to deal with it, because he had so many pressures on him and so many people telling him how to act, what to do, whereas now he's his own person doing whatever the fuck he wants. I think that so much of the pressure is going to be out of the way that it will be relatively easy to get through compared to before, you know? Right, next up, do you think after the honeymoon phase ends, Simon and Willa will face another problem that they can't solve together, or will Willa being the crown, or was Willa being the crown prince just too big of a problem? I really love their love and passion, but was just wondering. I think that is something that we can't ever really know. There might genuinely be a problem that comes up in the future that does result in the end of their relationship. But I think that most of their problems that we saw in the show were because of the pressures of him being the crown prince. And if they weren't obviously due to him being the crown prince, like it wasn't literally like, you're doing this because of this and it's hurting me, Willa's mental health was in the fucking gutters because of his position. So I think that even from an extended point of view, any problem that they had was related to that as well. But that being said, like I said, if they do end up breaking up, then it is what it is. That was like the main takeaway from all of this was, don't do it for Simon. Don't give up your position because of the love that you had for him and because you want to be in a relationship with him, and that's why you're not going to be the crown prince. Do it for you. If you don't want that life and you want to be happy, fucking get rid of it. And that's what he did. He did it for himself. And so at the end of the day, if they work out or they don't work out, who knows? But I think that they are definitely set up to be in a fantastic position. I think that they are definitely set up to rule the fucking world. You know, they're going to be so much happier than they were. And a part of me is sad that that won't be, like, a part of me is sad that we won't get to see it. But then at the end of the day, it's the same with every form of media, isn't it? You don't get to see those moments. You just hope that it turns out well, you know? Doing such a monumental change for someone else is never a good idea. Because if you do it for that person, then say you do break up in the future, you're now going to be left in the shit because you did something for that person. And now you have nowhere else to go because you've given up everything that you wanted. And not just that, but if we're talking about like the relationship itself, every time they would have an argument or a fight, it would start to become like ammunition. Basically, it would start to become that thing of like, no, you can't leave me because I did this for you. And it would cause so many issues, which is another important reason as to why he needed to do it for himself. So, you know, I think that he handled it absolutely perfectly. But yes, moving on next up. Are you happy with Willa abdicating, or would you rather have seen him become king one day? In my opinion, abdicating has always been the only way for him to be happy. Me too. I feel like that's what the show has been building towards all 3 seasons. I believe he says something like, I just want to have a normal life within the first 5 minutes of the whole show. Really? I'm going to do a whole rewatch now. Now that I've finished it, I'm going to do like a whole rewatch just to like see my boys again, you know. But that's fascinating. I didn't know about that. But yeah, my opinion, abdicating has always been the way. This whole season, I've always thought to myself, abdicating will always be the best route for Willa. My fear throughout this season was that Willa would not do it. My fear was that like the family pressure of this being a family institution and like a mother passing it down to her son, my fear was always that that would be too much for Willa to feel like he was allowed to let go of, you know? And so I've always thought that abdicating was the only way for him to be happy, but I was just scared that he wouldn't do it. So I'm so happy that we've ended it on such a positive note. I'm so happy that we've ended it on such a note that just feels like they're so set up for happiness that I'm so proud of both of them to be able to have gotten to this point. Because it was not looking good. Like season 2 was so down and dark. Season 3 had so many pressures to it. And so to know that we got to this point and they've all, like, even fucking Sada and Felice, seeing the growth that they've had and the points that they've got to, like, it's been amazing. They're all set up to live such happy lives. And, like, I'm sad that I won't get to see it, but I'm so happy for them. Right, next up, did you think there was any hope for them being endgame? I'm curious what your thought process was on that during the episode. I'd nearly lost all hope by the lake scene, and then when Willa was thanking Simon for the song and they said goodbye, I was like, yeah, it's over for real, we're fucked, because there was barely any time left. The finale was a roller coaster. Yep. Yes, I completely agree. The whole lake scene, I was like, this is really like sweet, but maybe this could be a moment where they connect again. And then when he said thank you for the song, goodbye, enjoy the summer, my heart fucking shattered. I was like, ugh. I think the moment that turned me was when Willa looked back at what was her name? I can't remember. Looked back at the security guard that's always keeping an eye on him, you know. And you could just see that moment of like disdain in his face of like, I hate this. I hate that I'm constantly being watched over. I hate that I'm constantly, every like moment that I have with someone is never a pure private moment. There is always some level of the royal family like hanging over me. And so at that moment, I did have a shift, but it was a very big roller coaster going between, you know, I didn't think my heart could take it as we were going forward. And then our last and final question isn't about it, but it is asking if I would react to the Young Royals Forever documentary. I don't have time today, but I do want to do it. So I do think that I am going to do it. Let me just check how long it actually is. Okay, it's an hour long. I'm definitely going to do that. It'll probably be next week for patrons. I don't know if I will edit it down for YouTube. It might just be a Patreon only thing, just because I feel like something like that might have trouble copyright wise, but we can always give it a go. To the people on YouTube, let me know down below if you would like to see a reaction to it, because I will do it if enough people want it. I'll see how it goes and see if YouTube allows it. But yeah, just let me know. But for sure, for patrons at least, I will definitely be doing that. It'll probably be next week though, just because my friends are moving and I'm helping them move after I've recorded this. So that's why I'm a little bit tight on time. But yeah, I would definitely love to watch that as like a sort of like our goodbye to the show, you know. But with that said though, that was episode 6. That was the finale. The show is now over, which I feel like it never really hits me in the moment that something has ended. I think it's one of those things where like I have to sit with it for a while and think to myself, oh, Young Royals. Oh, wait, no, it's done. You know, I feel like it's a thing that I always get to later on because it just feels so like fresh right now. But I can't, oh my God, imagine like just the idea of like in 5 years, this still would have been the last that we saw them. Makes me so sad. But enough of the sadness. We need to be happy because they are happy. They got to a point where they could both actually live a fucking fantastic life. I mean, everyone did. Fucking August is set up to be king. He is going to cherish that role. Bloody Frederica and Stella are getting together. Madison's off with them and she seems happy. Felice and Sada have repaired their relationship. They seem happy. And then we got Will and Seymour. Like, everyone just seems to be good, which is so nice to see. Even the fucking queen looked like she was doing better. Like, everyone. So that was a great note to end it on, a happy note to end it on, and I'm glad that we got to end this story the way that we did. It would have been such a fucking shit. Imagine it got cancelled after season 2 and we didn't get this season. The things that would have been left unsaid. I would have been so upset. Yes, with that said, I need to stop dragging this on. That was Young Royals episode 6. It was a fucking blast. I had an amazing time. I hope you all did too. And I will see you on our next journey. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I have left a link down below to my Patreon. Be able to find all of the uncut episodes of all of Young Royals and all the other shows that I do. Also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials. So be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.